Good morning and welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee with Caryn, episode 71, Calling All Dragons. We're going to be discussing how you can step up into your role as global luminary to become the living legend of New Earth that you were born to be, and to really harness the power that it is to be a dragon, to harness the power of your Kundalini awakening and use it for the service of the entire planet. So we're going to be talking all things dragons, all things magic, all things New Earth today, as we do every single week. We're really starting to shift out of having conversations about the unconscious and conscious mind and what it is that you do once your mind has unified. Once you know that you are the master creator of your reality, how can you take that knowing and move it into the new earth vision so that more and more people can be coming into this knowing for themselves, and we can be in our presence of knowing that we are dragons without needing to go tell everyone, hey, did you know that I'm a dragon? Hey, did you know that I'm a god? Hey, do you know this? Right? So really wanting to take a moment and create a sacred container with you guys. I left my incense, so give me 2 seconds while I go grab that. Okay, got some dragon's blood, incense, and we've got our candle. Perfect. So, as always, every week we start by setting an intention and making sure we just really create a reverent space for us to spend the next little bit of time together. So, there we go. Make sure we have everything. Hello. Hi. Carla, my love. How are you? Just want to make sure. Okay, perfect. Make sure my phone's turned off. So let's set an intention today together for some nice, clean communication to occur. Whoop. And to really connect to this knowing that we are dragon, that we are the gods of our universe, that we are fractals of the creator manifest in form, here to be way showers, to be luminaries for those who are still lost, who are still blind to the knowing that they are creating their own reality. They're choosing it based on their past life karma, based on their current life choices. As always, lighting your Palo Santo, your sage, your incense from the candle that you set your intention with, and weaving it in a figure-8 motion, creating a sacred container, creating time and space for you right here, right now, for the next 30 to 60 minutes. I can't tell you how long this episode will go. I never can. Bringing everything that's happened so far in your day, whether you're live or on the replay, bringing those polarities into the singularity and creating this really nice, beautiful space for us to have a metaphysical, strategizing conversation. Okay, you, me, and all of the superconscious leaders on this planet. So let me just hook my incense into my incense holder here. Make sure it's doing its thing. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so dragons. Let's start with the easy one. How many of you, I just want to know, because this is a really fun topic for me. So for those of you guys who don't know, I'm Caryn Terrace. I'm the Dragon Doula. I'm a super conscious leader and metaphysical strategist, and I help empower high achieving entrepreneurs, individuals, couples, and companies to really step in and create the values necessary within their entire lives to bring New Earth to the forefront of the global consciousness. New Earth is already here, it's already built. It's our jobs to now clear the veil and clear the illusion that everyone isn't welcome, right? So every person on this planet is welcome to choose to live in a vibration of unlimited love, bliss, wealth, success, creativity, connection, communication, and we no longer need to be isolated from one another, and we no longer need to have this separatist belief system, and we can come into that unity consciousness that is going to help us to transcend the current global system, right? The whole planet is shifting. She's shifting into higher planes of consciousness and higher dimensions of physical reality. And one day, I don't know when, she's actually not going to be inhabiting the 3D sections anymore. So she won't be third dimension. Her twin sister planet is Karnak. Karnak is the planet that the Syrian star nation comes from. So we know them as the Syrians. We know them as the Syrian star nation. They actually inhabit a planet named Karnak that orbits uh, Sirius B, but it orbits it in the fifth dimensional plane. So though our scientists can't see it, but if you meditate with Green Tara, she got her mastery there. She became a Golden Dragon Master by having her so many lifetimes on Karnak, and then she came here and taught the principles of Shambhala or New Earth to the Tibetan Buddhist monks when she incarnated here on planet Earth for only one lifetime as Green Tara. So that's some background for you. This is my love. This is my passion. This is what wakes me up in the morning, and what I fall asleep dreaming to is this knowing that we are dragons, we are cosmic birthers of reality, we are the kundalini, we are the crystalline DNA, we are the shift in the vibration that is going to change all of our planet into being able to know their worth as aspects of the creator manifest in form, singing their own song, singing their own frequency, living their own life based on their own choices. Okay, we live in a planet, we live on a planet, in it, we live on a planet that we only have one rule. That rule is free will and free agency. And because of that one rule, there's a secondary effect, which there are no victims. So I'm not here to save anyone. I'm not here to respond to your SOS from that you've sent out to the universe. I'm here to remind you that you don't need saving. You are already the savior. You are already the Christ. The Christ manifest as you, okay? As you. So Christ consciousness is often confused. Dragons, Christ consciousness, Kundalini, Chi, Ka, all these words, you're going to hear me throwing them around interchangeably. God, because my vocabulary, my knowledge goes through every single mythology that you can think of. I'm learning more about African beliefs and traditions actually in South American ones so that I can pull them more into what I know. Right now, I'm very versed in Indian, Hindu, and in Tibetan Buddhism, Zen Buddhism, a lot of the Christianity, and some myths from the Norse as well as Babylon. So more of I'm a white girl. I'm learning though. I promise. I'm doing what I can to learn. Karmic. Karmic, first time I heard this, and also about Green Tara. I do believe we live on Mother Earth as Native American. Yes, amazing. Green Tara, she is a Tibetan Buddhist. She's a Buddhist deity. So you might have heard of White Tara. Yes. um, you might have heard of White Tara or just Tara in general. Green Tara is the aspect of Tara that is the one that her mantra is Om Tare Tutare Ture Soha, which translate to I am the star that crosses over and becomes the tree of life, and I am the tree of life that reaches up and touches every star. So it really is this death and rebirth coming into the polarity. So I have this scorpion yin yang that I keep on my desk to remind me that I have the power and venom of a scorpion, but I also am soft and gentle. I have all of it, right? I am all that I am. I am all that I am. So I I have the light, I have the shadows, I have all of it because I did incarnate here on Earth. So, calling all dragons. Why would I be calling out the dragons? First of all, let me take a sip of tea because this is going to be, if I don't drink it now, it'll be freezing cold by the time I get to the end of the live. So, Dragons. We need to remember that we are all dragons. Dragons are, the word dragon is translated down to serpent, okay? Obviously, every single dragon, whether it's from the east, the west, the north, the south, is this serpentine sort of creature, whether it's a water serpent or it's an air serpent or a fire breathing serpent or just a giant serpent that lives in a cage. Dragon, serpent. Serpent actually then etymologically breaks down to see clearly. So the word serpent means to see clearly. Then to see really means to know that I have seen. Okay. So to see clearly means that I have also seen. So you're seeing and you already have seen. Is this one of those things that am I walking or am I being walked by something greater than me? Right. Am I breathing or is the universe breathing me? So again, that word serpent has that dual meaning of to see clearly and I have seen. Now, to break it down even more, the word dragon really means light and clear. So clear light. And light and clear actually don't break down anymore. So if you try to look up the etymology of the word light, you can't. It's just always existed because there's either light or there's dark. The same thing with the word clear. It's either clear or it's not clear. So those are two words that are actually etymologically, you can't break them down anymore. So really light is that radiant energy that makes everything visible, and clear is that bright, pure radiance, right? So dragon breaks down to serpent, which means to see clearly, which means to have clear light. And you can't break it down any further than that. There are some words that you can break down. I love words. It's my favorite thing. In the beginning there was the word and the word was God. So I'm really specific about the words that I choose and the inner dialogue I'm having as well as the external dialogue I have. So I love words and I love to break down words and I like to find different words, more potent words, more powerful words. So when I broke down the etymology of the word dragon, and it was really just like serpent, to see clearly, light clear, and it was that easy. I have words that are like, and this means this, and this means this, and this means this. And to finally get down to the original etymology is like 7 or 8 layers of breaking down different words into what they mean. It wasn't like that with dragon. It was serpent, to see clearly, light clear. So a dragon can see light clearly, can see through all of the dimensions of light, as I have a rainbow like right behind me because of my window. Um, to see all of the light clearly. You see all of the light so clearly that you have access now to your causal chakra. And once you've mastered your own causal chakra, once you've become magnetic enough within your Ka body to be manifesting miracles, right? Commanding miracles. You're not even manifesting, you're commanding miracles into your life. You then are like, well, what do I do? I have all this knowledge, I have all this power. I know that I could do anything at any time and I always get what I want, but I'm here of service. I've suffered greatly. I've suffered great loss. I have suffered greatly in my own life, and I want to give back and I want to be in service. How do you do that? You do that by beginning to really truly connect to the causal chakra of the entire planet, meaning you are looking at global consciousness. You are wondering how you can help move global consciousness to the critical mass necessary, where we flip the script from being a society that is ruled by fear to a society that is based in freedom, right? It's not, you're not ruled by freedom, you're based in it, because that is the original blueprint of this planet, was free will, free agency, right? That's actually what Lucifer, the bringer of the light, wanted. Who is it? You're fine. My husband just came in and scared the shit out of my dogs. Whew. Boys, lay down. Hey, 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 chill out. Shadow, lay down. No, lay down right now. Jesus, children. Okay, reminds me, I love the etymology and the energy and they hold in their meaning. I've shared this to watch later as I have a Wolfhound who insists I take him on a walk right now. Amazing, Andy. We'll see you later. Enjoy. Clearly, everyone got the dog vibe real quick. He types in Wolfhound and my dogs go off. That's amazing. See? It's amazing. So, causal chakra, Christ consciousness. Come on back. Your Lucifer, bringer of the light, right? So that was the whole thing, is that when you separate from God, you're no longer a part of God, and therefore you have this guilt and this shame and this fear that start to come into place. I've talked about this before on previous lives, and the idea of true forgiveness coming from the original fall from grace, which is the choice to incarnate, right? You have the all, which we are all currently still safely within, and the aspect of the all, or the aspect of God that is separate, is called Christ consciousness. So the separation from God causes then this split to occur, where you're like, okay, I've got the voice of God or the Holy Spirit in my ear, but I also have the voice of my ego, or this idea that I can be separate from God. And from there, the ego then won and decided that fear was the best way to rule, and we now live in this universe where there's fear. It's fine. There's other universes where there aren't fear. It's a pretty cool place to hang out, but this is where we are right now. So coming back, knowing this, you know that you're Christ consciousness, you know that you're God manifest in form, you know that you're amazing at what you do and how you do it, and you're ready to show up in a really big way. You're human, the human being, the part of you that has been identified as you since you were born, right? The name that your parents gave you, the social constructs that you were raised with, the belief system that you were given. If you haven't gone in there and really created your own backbone, your own structure of what it is that you believe and why you believe those things, then you are subject to fall for some of the fear mongering that occurs in our current society on a regular basis. Shadow, seriously, stop. My dog's name's Shadow. Hey! I think my husband's like cleaning or vacuuming or something out there, because he does not like it. Hold on 1 second. They don't usually get that except for when I'm meditating with the dragons. They get really weird. So there must be a lot of dragons around right now. Supplies. We're calling them all in. So calling on the dragons, it's calling into that part of you that knows that you already are the life force, okay? So if we come back to the etymology of dragon, meaning the serpent, where do we see the serpent all the time? We literally see the serpent constantly. In Hermetics, we see it as in the cosmic eggs. It's always wrapped around the cosmic egg. The serpent always has this meaning of death and rebirth, since always. Hi, Carl. Um, we have this idea, this the kundalini energy is always seen as a serpent. In the alchemy of Horus and the sex magic of Isis, we're taught about the four serpents, which is, there's the main channel that goes up and down your spine from your crown to your tailbone, but then you have one serpent or one dragon, the masculine solar dragon, that comes up the right side of your body, and then you have the lunar feminine dragon that comes up the left side of your body. So these two serpents, these two dragons, when you're working with some of the sex magic and alchemy, the alchemy of Horus and the sex magic of Isis, and a lot of the stuff that Mary Magdalene was trained in as an initiate of the Order of Magdalene, this is stuff that I also teach my clients. We we know that we can actually activate within a couple, if you're in a power couple situation, which is why I love working with couples, is you get to this point where you can actually activate all four serpents at the same time, and like that's a true power couple when you have these these people that are coming at the forefront, the masculine, the feminine, held in full divine union together. Their wills are inseparable. They know that their will is actually connected to the divine, and we have these people popping up all over the world right now, and you might not hear about them or know about them, but they're coming around and they're standing up as the global luminaries. as the dragon doula, as the one here to help birth more dragons into their remembrance that they're dragon, right? You already are a dragon, you just have to remember it. The way you remember it is by going after your impossible dream. The most impossible, crazy dream that you can imagine. So for me, I am planning to run for president of the United States in 2028 or 2032. Which one, I don't know yet, but the earliest I could run is I would literally turn 2035 6 months after everyone else started running in 2024. So that's just not a timeline that I know that I can really play in right now. I'd be much more beneficial running, like being in the Senate during that time. But I have that goal. I'm a metaphysician who has all sorts of skeletons in her closet and in her back door that I have let out all over the internet. The second someone Googles my name, I'm going to be under so much scrutiny. So that's why I have started really amping up this idea of being the unstoppable, impenetrable spellbinder, what dragons really are, right? Dragons have scales that are impenetrable. So nothing can hit me. Nothing can harm me. There is nothing that you can do to me that could hurt me. And that's because I'm in this full mastery of my energetic field. I see so clearly what it is that I'm helping build as a luminary, as a living legend of New Earth. Now, why do I say living legend? Because dragons are mythic, legendary creatures. You need to step into your legendary power. This is all about no longer giving a fuck about your shadows, not giving a shit about your blocks. They are irrelevant because that is fear. It's all fear mongering, right? Oh, I'm afraid of this. I'm afraid of that. Even being like, oh, I'm afraid of getting something good, right? There's a practice that I was taught called Deepest Fear Inventory by Carolyn Elliott. It's an amazing tool if you haven't gotten to the point of mastery that my clients have gotten to. But at one point, anything with the word fear is not something that you want to be fucking with because you need to learn how to get off on the light. Okay? Being stuck in your shadows and in your stories and in your battles is easy. It's a cop out at this point for energy workers, star seeds, healers, anyone to still be doing shadow work. Not that they're not teaching it, but to be really doing it on yourself, because that means that you've trapped yourself in this belief that there's something wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with you. You're an aspect of the divine manifest in form. You're perfect. So get up and go do something. How can you be a living legend now? How can you harness all the power, all the alchemy, all the work that you've done on seeing those darkest parts of you, those shadowy parts of you, and deciding, no, I see clearly my path. I see clearly where I need to go. Carlos, so this interesting thing is happening where I keep having these dreams where the wealthier men I briefly dated are flirted with waking life are actually seriously courting me in these dreams. Amazing. So you have that money dream coming in, right? You have, as money is an energy. We could talk about this. We love dragons have gold. So let's go. Let's shift. Let's shift a little bit. I love it. If you guys have questions, comments, I do really well channeling back and forth. So if you want some really like in-depth, Carla knows. She knows if she asks me a question, I'm going to answer it. We're going to go off on a little riff. It's cool. Dragons have tons of gold. We are completely supported. We got a Gringotts bank account filled, right? We got a whole vault filled with gold. Having the support and money necessary to move on with your vision is not something that you worry about when you know yourself as a dragon, right? So, Carla, what's happening now is that you're being courted by big money. So, how do you court back? What you can do to court back with big money is a couple of things. One, find out how you see money. Do you still see it with the identity of the savior? Okay. This is how you do that. You close your eyes for a second and you think, if I were to never make another dime in my life, would I be happy? Not that you become poor or anything like that, but if your current life situation were just to be indefinitely, you had no way of being able to change it, nothing changes really, and you're just where you're at indefinitely. How does that make you feel inside of your body? And if you feel anything other than I would be totally okay with that because I know that I'm still serving on mission and that I must be in divine will for me to be at that level. If you slip low, like, oh my God, I want to throw up, holy shit, that makes me want to freak out, or you get really angry or you get sad or any of those low vibe, I hate that term, but those vibrations that you can feel you're dipping back down into more of a fear-based feeling, that means that you still have money as an energy of saving you. So you need to release that identity. Money doesn't save you from your current situation. There's nothing to be saved from. You're not a victim, right? There's only two rules on this planet: one, free agency; two, there are no victims. It's really one, free agency, and therefore there are no victims. So you want to really tune into yourself here, Carla, and anyone who's having money struggles at all, money blocks. You're not blocked. It's a belief structure that you have. So you need to rewrite your belief structure. Does your belief structure allow you to know that you are so unified with the divine will of the planet, right? How am I connected so deeply into knowing my worth, of knowing that I'm going to be president of the United States? It's because I know that I chose to come to this planet during this time to help usher in the new golden age of miracles. I know this in my bones. And because I know this in my bones, I have the energetic backbone to stand up in the face of adversity and actually speak out about the causes and such that I care about. It's the reason why I help companies and causes and campaigns all throughout the world, not just in America, but throughout the world, to be able to really step up and show these new earth values and these belief systems, because we're not afraid. We're impenetrable. We're unstoppable. There is nothing that can harm us. We're not afraid of death. We have that spine of a warrior, and we know that as a legend, we're going to live on, and we know that as we're building a legacy is planting a seed in a garden that you're literally never going to get the fruit from, right? We know this. Anyone who creates a legacy knows that they're only going to see the very beginning of what it is that they're creating. We are here to build the legacy of New Earth. So anyone who's trying to go jump right into New Earth and Utopia without doing the building part, they're someone who is either, they might be one of the ones that go mad. They might be the ones who don't make it this time around and come back and reincarnate as a kid once New Earth is actually set up. That's not what I'm here to play with. I'm here to play as big as possible, unlimited bliss, unlimited love, unlimited wealth, unlimited success, in the service of the highest good of all beings across all time, space, and dimensions. And so it is. Also, I like that you mentioned the DFI. I just stopped doing them a couple weeks ago, plus let the DFI threads and unsubscribe from the email threads. Perfect. DFI is Deepest Fear Inventory, for those of you. It's from Existential Kink by Caryn Elliott. It's a really good practice if you know you still have a lot of fear of being bright. Okay, so she uses the same quote that's my mission statement for my business. The Marianne Williamson quote is, our light, not our dark. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate, it's that we are powerful beyond measure. So the practice is to write something that you're afraid of, but in a positive. So I have a deep fear that of creating $1 million a month. And then you would start writing all the reasons why you would actually be afraid of all of that. So that's a really good practice when you're learning to step into your power. What I have found is that those people who are already powerful, if they start trying to do deepest fear inventory, they get sucked back into this fear situation. Stop running from your fears. Start chasing your freedom. Start walking into it. Start being your freedom right now. I also feel like I need to focus on what comes after shadow work instead of making my identity business around it, which is what I started becoming more orgasmic. Exactly. What comes on after shadow work? What happens after you've taken your closet full of skeletons, cleaned it all out, gone into the trap door underneath that closet of skeletons, cleaned all that out, and you're just like, okay, so that is my history. All of those things happen to me. I have no attachment to them. I get off on some of them. I laugh hilariously when I tell those stories, and it kind of shocks people that I'm laughing. Now what? Now that I'm free, what exactly do I do with my freedom? Right? And that's why I'm calling all dragons. Thank you, Carla. Calling all dragons, meaning What do you do now? You know that nothing can harm you. You know that nothing's going to stand in your way. You know that you're going to have everything that you ever desired because you command time and space and miracles like that. You're a commander of energy. You know that you are in self mastery with yourself as the Kundalini, as the Christ, as the creator manifested form, creating your own unique frequency. Now what? This is where you have to sit in it, right? We sit in the goo. We start just taking little steps. Okay, maybe I'll just clean out my closet today. Maybe I'll play for a little while. Maybe I'll go learn a new craft, right? You start to trust. I trust that I am in alignment with the highest good of all. I trust that I have unified my will. I trust that my unconscious and my conscious are working towards the same goal. But can you claim the goal? And that's where you need to have your impossible dream. In fact, maybe next week's live stream will be on the impossible dream. Uh, Let me make a note to myself because I will forget. Next week, Sunday morning coffee with Caryn. And I'll walk you guys through a exercise next week on how to do the impossible dream. It's a exercise I take my clients on that really helps you step into that, and then we can work it backwards, so that you're stepping into the future timeline. So what I mean by that is that in the mornings I wake up and I meditate, and I will go to the White House, and I will sit in the White House, and I will be like, what is it like to wake up in those beds? And what is it like to have my breakfast already made downstairs? And what is it like to look at my walk-in closet filled with like tailored suit blazer skirts? You know, like what am I going to wear when I'm president? Where am I going to walk my dog when I'm president? What am I going to do in the mornings? And I'll try to walk myself through a day as president of the United States, and then get that body feel and then come back into my current space and time, and how do I hold on to that body feel while I'm still a suburban housewife who hasn't even technically begun her political career yet. Right? So we'll do that next week. A lot of people don't like that. I laugh about my rape either. I need to stop giving a fuck. Yeah. Yeah. People are traumatized by their own situation, and it's not to discredit trauma. I've been extremely traumatized from abuse, from bullying. I was a big victim of bullying when I was a child. And yeah, I'm going to say the word victim because that's how I saw it. At the time, I saw myself as a victim. I had my PTSD was so bad that I had physicalized it as fibromyalgia. I then almost died from pharmaceutical pills. I became a day drinking mom. I was constantly seeking affairs to try to end my marriage. Even after I had an affair, my marriage still didn't end, and I was like, "What the fuck? What is going on? My life's supposed to be over right now. Why is it not over?" And I realized that I needed to have all those shame stories. You know, I'm a recovering kleptomaniac. All this stuff, recovering perfectionist. That's a huge one. All these things that have happened in my life that I can say to you with like, there's nothing. Do you how like neutral it is as I say that to you? That's triggering to someone who hasn't done the inner work necessary. Your light becomes a trigger to them. Okay. I am a walking trigger. Okay. If you walked around Salt Lake City and started asking people about me, I couldn't tell you what they would say, because I hold the presence and knowing and being so strongly of a dragon. I am fierce. I am ferocious. I have that wrathful Dakini. I have that Sekhmet Kalima energy. That's because I'm not here to just sort of sprinkle love and light around like unicorn dust and fairy dust. I'm here to help really shake loose the shadows and the illusions and the binds, right? Break free the illusions, the shackles of time, release the bondage, and embrace the shine. You're embracing the shine of your own light, your own knowing of you as the Christ, of you as dragon, of you as the Kundalini. So many people have their Kundalini awakenings and they have their spiritual awakenings, and they literally are like, I don't know what to do. Dream big and then bigger, and not for your own self. right? I'm not here like I'm going to be president of the United States and the owner of a multi-billion-dollar empire by the time I'm 40 because I'm doing that for my personal gain. I have those dreams, and there is a knowing within me that those dreams are in alignment with divine will. And because they're in alignment with divine will, A, they're going to happen no matter what I do. And B, everything I do is in alignment with it happening. It's that double edge again. Doesn't matter what I do, I know that I'm going to become president of the United States. And because I know that so well, everything I do is in alignment with me becoming it. So therefore, all of my stories, all of my past trauma that I have worked through, I have done tons of work, guys, but fast. A lot faster than a lot of people. I opened my coaching business in 2018. This is only my third year. If you were to go try to go watch videos of me from 3 years ago, you would say, first of all, that's not the same person. Second of all, that's not the same person. And third of all, who the fuck is this person that I'm watching? Because it's not the same person that's on the screen when I watch her on Sunday Morning Coffee with Caryn now. Because I'm serious about becoming an energetic Olympian, about the self mastery needed to transcend all triggers and to be okay with being a walking trigger. That's the part that really it cuts off so many light workers. They want to be PC. The healers just want to be, I want to take care of everyone, you know? And I'm doing my work. Like I said, I'm researching more about native cultures. I'm researching more about South America. I'm researching more about Africa. But I will be the first one to tell you that I know I have white privilege. But I'm going to use that privilege as a power to move forward and to move forward with the change that I see necessary to move all of global consciousness into freedom based. Because I'm a dragon, nothing can harm me. Okay, is this you guys getting it yet? No one and no thing has power over me. Nothing can harm me. I have relentless focus on discipline in my goal, but that doesn't mean that I don't have any fun. I have tons of fun. I am always fucking around, always playing, orgasming left and right, like constantly. My life is bliss. My life is heaven. I could never make another dime again. And everything in my life is already perfect. And I know that I'm in alignment with divine will. Can you say the same? That's what I'm asking. If you have a successful business, if you have a successful, even if you're not successful, who decides that? You decide your own success. As soon as you go out there and start chasing success, you've forgotten that you are successful. As soon as you go out there chasing the dream of knowing God or knowing the Buddha or even knowing the dragons, you have forgotten that you are God, that you are the Buddha, that you are the dragon already. So I'm not here to be a anything except for a guiding light. I'm here to do nothing except for stand in the presence of my knowing of my worth as an aspect of the creator fully manifest in form, creating the frequency that is so bright and so loud and so strong that it sends out a vibrational wave and shifts the frequency of the whole planet with every action that I take. Every time I take a breath, every time I take my kids on a walk, every time I make love, every time I'm cooking dinner, I'm actually in the presence of how clearly I see the vision, right? Dragon means serpent, which means to see clearly. I see so clearly the vision of new earth that I live in it right now constantly. And if I'm living in it, that means that it's real. And therefore, I have the power to bring others here if you want. If you want to be living heaven on earth right now, despite the chaos that's going on around you, if you want to create a life that is filled with unlimited happiness and love and brilliance and everything like that, and yes, treasure. There is treasure here, okay? Because we need to start to funnel the energy of money from the fear based society into our freedom based society. Yes, exorbitant amount of wealth come rushing at you, and your human starts to be like, wait, am I worthy of this? Am I supposed to have this? And that's when you have to say, oh, human, I love you. I know this is hard. I know it's a shock, right? This is when my clients will call me and they're like, I feel like I'm going out of body. Or they'll send me a message and they're like, I can't ground. I can't. And it's because they're carbon based DNA. They're human. And it's usually after a really big sale or really big revelation or something like that that's happening. Or maybe one of the exercises I gave them was really powerful. And it's because we're shifting our DNA on a DNA level. on a DNA level, opening your pineal gland or your third eye allows for more light to come through. Your pineal gland is the part of your brain that knows whether or not there's light coming in and therefore produces the melatonin in your body to tell you whether or not you should be asleep or awake. So the more you clear your third eye, decalcify it through the foods that you eat and the water that you're drinking, if maybe you do any plant medicines that help, the meditation. When you're meditating, you can close your eyes and then roll your eyes in and up. So it's putting pressure on the pineal gland. Everything you're doing to open your third eye is actually then allowing more light to come in and affect that part of your brain. And by doing that, it then creates more biophotons. So your brain emits 1 billion biophotons per second. That's the average human. Someone who's meditating is creating multiple billions of biophotons a second. Photons then interwave within the quantum realm, meaning that all of your thoughts, so that's why words are so important and why your internal dialogue is so important, is why you need to stop asking yourself what's blocking you, because that's an internal conversation that you're having that then creates a block. The second you ask, why am I blocked? You've then created a block. Instead, you can ask, what is the limiting belief that is hindering this reality to be real right now? Right? And it usually is having to do with shame or death. It sounds morbid as shit, but that's what it comes down to. That is what your human is most afraid of, is dying. Because that's what we've been told by for thousands and thousands of years, is that's the end. But we as light workers know that we've had multiple lives, so why do we care if we die this time? What is that fear? Dragons live for hundreds and hundreds of years. You have records of Tibetan monks, just any monk, living for hundreds of years in all sorts of different belief systems, right? There are all sorts of tribal men and women who have been thought to be hundreds and hundreds of years old in the stories that are told of them. Why is that not you? So let's wrap this back around to the living legend. Can you imagine that you live until 2200? It's another like 180 years. What would it be like to do that? Can you? Right? You want to reach out and reach into your super conscious resources, aka psychic abilities. I don't like that term, but lots of people do. So learn how to be your own psychic. Can you go into this future and be like, holy shit, at 80, I still have this body exactly as I look right now? I don't age? Okay, cool. Am I done with like having a period? There's so much magic available to you. There's so much information and knowledge available to you, but you're still in this frame that tells you that your body is going to get old and it's going to disintegrate. They don't even know why humans get old and die. Did you know that there's not an actual biological reason for that to happen? Other species of animals don't show the same aging effects, and they don't tend to die of old age in the same proportion. Like getting to that age, yeah, okay, there's a lot more dog eat dog situations, but aging and dying of old age is actually a scientific like anomaly. Nobody really knows why it happens. So if that's the case, and that's programmed into our carbon-based DNA, the 666, carbon, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. The fear and the aging and the dying is all programmed into your carbon DNA. But as you do more work and you do more light and you emit more biophotons, you're connecting to crystalline DNA. So you're activating crystalline DNA within you when you activate what's known as the Sophia code, or the crystalline strand of DNA within you that then activates the other 12. So we actually have 12 strands of DNA. Two of them are the ones that you know about. One of them's the Sophia code, and that one is then activates all the other ones. So you have 10 strands of crystalline DNA or junk DNA, and you have only 2 strands of carbon. But the 10 strands of crystalline are dormant. They aren't activated until you're able to receive more light in your body through opening, like literally meditating will start helping you do that. So you open up, and that's when you become impenetrable, right? Like your skin starts getting shinier, you don't get sick, you are able to eat pretty much anything and alchemize it within your body. You're able to turn poison into medicine. You're able to turn lead into gold. You're able to turn these heavy frequencies into lighter frequencies. You're emitting more biophotons. Your human is dying, but you're not allowing yourself to really truly believe that and know it because you're not going into the future far enough. You're not asking what happens after shadow work. You're not asking what happens after I have the $10 million. What happens after I have all my dreams come true? I want all my dreams to come true. Am I going to be still alive? Am I going to be 80? And am I going to be in an old body or a body that can appreciate it? These are all questions you have to ask yourself. Dragons live hundreds and hundreds of years. They can fly. They can harness the power of flames and spit them over hundreds of yards. Can swim in the deepest depths of the ocean, never freeze, be in the highest peaks of the mountains and never get cold. They have unlimited wealth and unlimited resources. This is you. This is you as God. This is you as Christ. This is what you are here on this planet to show that you can be the example of. Can you see clearly enough New Earth and the vision that you have? What is your business like in New Earth, Carla? Or Melissa, or anyone who's watching? What is your life like once the ascension occurs? Everyone's waiting for the ascension. They thought it was going to be the Great Conjunction. They think it's going to be on the 11th. Like tomorrow, there's supposed to be another portal day. It's not going to be a portal day. It's not going to be just like it's one day, and it kind of is like this, but it's not going to be like a global planetary like this. It's individually we're going to set off a chain reaction, and then we're going to reach critical mass. The chain reaction is deciding, like I said, when you ask yourself, what if I never have all those things I dream of? Could I still be okay? And when you can sit back and say, no, I would be fine. I would be absolutely amazing if my life still stayed exactly whatever it is, because I know that I'm in divine union with the will of the all, and I'm here serving as a global luminary, and my presence alone is enough to light the way for others to know that they're creating their own reality. And I know that. I know that my life as it is perfect, and that everything that I'm doing moving forward is in alignment with divine will, and every desire that I have is no longer a desire of my earthly human form running away from fear, but it instead is a desire of my highest self calling me forth into my legendary life, the life of the legacy that I'm leaving. That, yeah, I'll probably be able to enjoy for a while, but at eventually one time I'm gonna be done with this planet, and I'm gonna go hang out in the cosmic soup for a while. I've known since I was a little kid that this was gonna be my last time on the planet, and I've really been able to come into that. Like really, really come into that in the last couple of months. Thank you everyone who's tagging friends. Let me read this message. This is where my heart is guiding me at this time in my life. How do I learn more? Where do I start? I've always known that I am powerful, but being abusive marriage for 20 years out of fear suppressed me, afraid to allow myself to produce what I desire and am here for. So far surpassed my wildest to far surpass my wildest dreams. I know that I believe. I know this is very real. I know that energy vibrations are a very powerful force. I'm just not knowledgeable about what exactly it all is. I've been thinking a lot about it, saw this, and no, it's not a coincidence. Yes. Shavon, I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. Send me a DM and I'll shoot you over to a couple of resources I have. I have different levels you can look at. Honestly, Freedom Frequency Shift is an amazing 2 week journey that I created that comes with an MP3 that you listen to every single day in the morning, at night. It's coded so that the waves inside of it are creating theta waves, which are healing waves, and then it has a mantra that I'm speaking over it. My voice just speaking to me, just hearing the sound of my voice is actually super healing because of the spiritual gifts that I've received from my star family, from the dragons, from the blue dragons, from the Pleiadians, uh, white white and gold dragons from Lyra. I've been doing this for about a year and a half. I have so many spiritual gifts that I want to share. So go onto my website, guys. Freedom Frequency Shift. I'm just gonna type it out really quick so I don't forget. I have it up right now, actually, like extremely discounted because I'm shifting some things in my own business. I just want people to have access to it. The energetic exchange is important, so there is a cost to it. But if you're ready to really step into that freedom, the freedom frequency shift is where I really would begin. Like, really. What do you know about the Rainbow Bridge? Hmm, I also have some gifts. Amazing. So, the Rainbow Bridge, I'm going to tap in for a second because a lot of people have different beliefs about it. So, hold on for a second, Debbie. Okay, so Debbie, what I see for you is the Rainbow Bridge is this connection from the physical world to the metaphysical world, and really a way for you to start collecting that pot of gold. And what needs to occur for you is to create that structure to allow for it to come. So if you can imagine all of the gold falling off of a rainbow, if there's not a pot at the bottom of it to catch all of the gold, then like you can only catch so much in your hands or in your shirt, right? So you want to start really working on the structure of how it is you're going to receive the abundance that it is that you're calling for and to move forward, right? It's not greedy to ask for money. That's a big thing that needs to be released within the spiritual community. To ask for large quantities of money while giving your gifts is again a way that we are funneling the money from the fear-based paradigm into where we are. Eventually we won't need money, but right now we do, right? We know eventually we're going to get to a point where we've created the replicator technology, or we're just all wizards and we can alchemize right in front of us. We've learned the law of equivalent exchange and we're able to just say cupcake and a cupcake appears in our hand. We're not there yet. Until we're at the point where we can say cupcake and a cupcake appears in our hands, or kitchery or avocado or whatever the hell it is you want to eat, right? Then we're still going to need money to buy food. So in that time, this is why I really highly suggest, if you're already a spiritual guide, someone who's a coach, a teacher, raise your prices. Literally go raise your prices right fucking now. How much? By at least 30% is what I'm hearing. You really, 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 really want to connect to this knowing that you are worth these larger sums of money, so that because you're working with the causal chakra of the planet, you're not doing it so you can go buy 1,500 Louis Vuitton bags, even though you could and still have plenty of money left over to save, not save, to heal and to serve. I meant to say serve, to serve the planet. There's no greed around having large sums of money because you know that you wouldn't need it. You don't need it to be a warrior of light. But I can tell you right now, Jesus wasn't poor. Mary Magdalene was his coin. She had tons of money from her mother and grandmother's estate. Her father was from Egypt and took her all over the world and had connections to people with property. So when you read about the Sermon on the Mount or other areas where there were large droves of people that were collecting in front of Jesus to speak. First of all, Mary Magdalene was right there next to him. Those who needed to be healed by Jesus went to him. Those who needed to be healed by Mary Magdalene went to him, went to her. But they would often experience amnesia that was actually beneficial to Mary Magdalene so that she wasn't stoned to death. Because you have to remember, back then, for any reason at all, some guy could just say that she pissed him off and they would throw rocks at her and she would be dead. But Jesus was not poor. 1000%. I'm very close to saying exactly what I need. Okay, done. Wow, you're absolutely right. Amazing. Perfect, Debbie. I'm so glad. I want to just like take a second and ask, does anyone have any? I'm hearing, yeah, there's some people if you have a question, if anyone has a question, if you're needing some one-on-one guidance right now, I'm going to open it up here at the end to allow for the dragons to come through and give any channeled messages necessary to anyone who has the courage to ask and open it up. I hope that this live stream was super helpful for you guys to understand what it is when you see the dragon doula. What does that really mean? I'm helping you birth from being a human who's been in an egg inside of a current paradigm to be able to break out of that paradigm and to know that you really are unstoppable, you're impenetrable, you're magic, you are fully supported, you have the ability to outlast any sort of drama that might happen in your life. You can crack the death code, you can crack the aging code, you have super conscious resources at your hands. You are capable of literally anything that you set your mind to. And as soon as you set your mind to it, allowing it to resonate through your whole body and to really connect into that radiant energy that makes you visible, and to just be okay that you're going to be a walking trigger. Okay, I don't walk around telling people that I'm the fairy doula or the unicorn doula because most people like fairies and unicorns, right? I say dragon because of this huge passion that I have to burn down the existing paradigm. Like, I want to watch it burn. I want to watch it burn down. I want to see the chaos and the destruction because that is where I thrive. My whole life, thriven. I've thrived where there was chaos. I create beautifully from chaos, and a lot of people do, but we're told that there's something wrong with us or there's something bad about it, and I don't want more I don't like that. I'm not someone that appreciates that rhetoric. I'm someone who wants you to be big. I want you to be huge. I want you to be loud. I want you to be rich. I want you to be madly in love. I want you to trigger the fuck out of people. I want you to be able to walk into a restaurant when we're all allowed to go to restaurants again with the love of your life in your arm, and they're staring at you and they are so madly in love with you. You're the most captivating thing in their room. They don't care about the restaurant while you're wearing the most gorgeous feeling gown that you could ever imagine, that's all tailored to you. You're dripping in jewels if that's something that turns you on. You're eating at the best restaurant in the city. You don't give a fuck, and every person in that room hates you. They hate you because you are so happy and you are so blissed out and you are oozing with this radiance of this is what happens when you do the inner work. When you are willing to go through the shadows and to deal with your battles and to take off the mask and to really truly play as a genius giant, you're gonna trigger the shit out of people. And that's okay. You can be a dragon living amongst humans. You can be a living legend. Thank you, Allie. Okay, let's see. Questions. So drop your questions, or if you have any messages, anything that's going on in your business. Guys, I do it all. Love questions, money questions, children questions, parenting. I love parenting questions. Those are one of my favorite ones as a mom of 3 little baby dragons myself. One's a fledgling, but very close to 6K. I would love any messages that I need to hear. Debbie, just that. Just work on that. I have a question. Which group of people, who am I meant to serve? Okay, Carla. Which group of people is Carla meant to serve? We've talked about this before, Carla. It's just coming up again really strongly is corporations, corporate America, those who are in the employee slavery like positions, right? They're not working within their zone of genius within their company. They either don't want to be working for the company they're working for, or they want a different position within that company that they know that they could be of more service. So that's something that I do with companies actually, is I go in there and help the CEOs and the boards to rearrange everything so that you can be working within the zone of genius within that company, so that everyone knows why they're working for the company, what the company is working forward, like why does the company exist to begin with. So new earth company building, essentially, like really building out these corporations to new earth. So Carla, I'm really hearing that that's where you need to be focusing again more. I'm even hearing like go on LinkedIn, like make a LinkedIn profile and start sharing there. A lot of people in corporate could use your cacao shadow work, like a lot. Allie, you were saying, oh, thank you. Yes, you're a fucking giant, Debbie. Do it. Um, I want to be an Shavon. I want to be an actress. That probably sounds dumb to most. Girl, I'm gonna be a Oscar winner. I get it. Viola Davis. She was like 41 before she ever got her first role. So just remember, she's now an Oscar winning, multiple Oscar winner. Not for fame, to use it to help others and share my story. Am I on the right path? Is this what I'm supposed to do? I've been through so much that I'm confused right now. My relationship seems too perfect to me and it scares me and I question it all the time because of my past. Is it legit? Is he legit? Okay. So, Shavon, I want you to read a book called The Upper Limit, or not. It's called The Big Leap. I'm replying to your thing. The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks. This idea that you have a relationship that is too good to be true, and so you're questioning in other areas of your life and other things are coming up, is an upper limit problem. Upper limit problem is something that I'm very well versed in. It's something that everyone has, and it's this thing that goes on in our brain. So for the last 100 years or so, we have barely started to have this idea of thriving. Right before penicillin was discovered, really everyone could die from like is an easy thing like an ear infection or a tooth infection. You could literally die from that. So even though you had tons of money or not, you were still on this even keel playing field of death from something really fucking random. Now that we have Western medicine and modern medicine, that's no longer a thing, and we're no longer really thinking about. We have it in the back space of our right. The death code is still there for sure, but it's not the forefront of our thinking all the time anymore. But are biologically speaking, we don't know what to do with all the happiness that we currently have. So being safe to keep us safe will create worry thoughts, right? So when it comes to worry thoughts, there's really two things you can do. When you start worrying about things, you're like, am I on the right path? Stop and ask yourself two questions. Is this real? Is this a real threat happening to me right now? Like something real would be if you're driving to work and you're like, did I turn off the stove from the tea kettle that I had this morning? Okay, that's something real and it's something that you can do right now. So one, is it real? Is it something that's in your physical reality right this second? And two, is it something that you can do right this second? So if you're driving to work and you have a thought, I don't know if I left the stove on. Yeah, you could, that'd be a real worry thought that you want to get off the next exit, turn around, drive your ass home and turn off your stove. Even if it's not on, at least you know for sure. But if you have a worry thought of, is he legit? Okay, it's real in your relationship that he's a real person, but can you do anything right now about him being legitimate or not? How, and then what are the repercussions of asking that? Having such a good love life, immediately you're going to start seeing other issues. Maybe your health picks up, or you don't have any money for some reason, or something else will happen. It's because in our wheel of life, we humans, as humans, the human part of us, doesn't believe they're worthy of having all parts of their lives filled to the brim, of overflowing. Don't believe that they can have unlimited health, wealth, happiness, love, and success. It's like, okay, you can be really healthy and have a lot of money, but you have no lover, and everyone fucking hates you, and you often make really bad mistakes in other areas of your life, right? Or you are super famous and super wealthy, but you're a drug addict, right? Though that's the upper limit problem. So, shave on for you, like, go read that book. When it comes to being on the right path, babe, I would say right now it's getting really quiet with yourself and saying, why, if it's not for the fame and it's for my ability to tell my story, what other avenues do I have to tell my story in? Can you start a blog? Can you start a podcast? Can you do a weekly live stream? I've been doing these live streams for a little over a year now, and I love it. I'm able to come on, I speak for about an hour. Today's going to go over. It's cool. I haven't done a super long one in a while, but I'm feeling it. I'm feeling I really want to be in that supporting giving space. But how else could you tell your story? And then the acting part, like I love acting. I love that dress up. I love the emotions and the passions. So if you still want to be an actress, how can you move forward with that? What are some action steps you can take? Do you have any plays that are going on in your town? Are there any tryouts? Could you fly out to LA? What is it that you would need to do to start taking the needle moving actions instead of just sitting in your house like, I hope I get discovered somehow? I don't know how I'm going to get discovered, but I'm going to do it, right? Okay. Dun, dun, dun. I gotta scroll all the way back down to here. Erica. Well, I'm having another baby. My ex-boyfriend didn't want me to keep it. I keep keeping the baby. What are my next steps? What do I need to be focusing on? I will be raising this baby alone. Okay. Okay, Erica. There's a lot of fear and like stress. Just remember that that's not helpful for the pregnancy. Okay. So for you, the most important thing that you can be doing right now is sending as much serotonin and dopamine to that baby that you can. So how do you find yourself in states of bliss? Okay. Even if you have to orgasm every day through self pleasure, do that. You need to be filling your body and your bloodstream with oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin so that you don't have stressed out baby when she comes out. Also, are you doing your other inner work necessary to know that you're supported? Okay. Have you listened to your dragon invocation recently? What are you doing that's causing you to spiral downwards? How could you play the what if game in the upward direction? What if everything works out perfectly? What if, not the what if in the negative downward, because you're already staying down there a lot, is what I'm feeling and getting. You want to play the what if game in the upward direction. Remember, what if I do get everything I desire? Everyone can do this, okay? You play, what if I actually did make the 50K that I want to make this month? What if I actually did get that book deal? Then what's next? And then this happens, and then this happens. We're so good at playing that game in the downward. Well, if I lose my job, then this will happen. And if that happens, then this will happen. We'll go down super fast, super hard. But when it comes to going up the spiral in the other direction, we're not as, that muscle isn't as strong, right? It's like those guys that you see that like they're up here is all super jacked, and then you look at their legs and they've got like chicken legs. That's what's going on. You need to have the strong legs too. You need, your whole body needs to be jacked if you're an Olympian, right? You want to be super strong everywhere. So I want you to strengthen your what if game in the positive, right? What if everything works out? How can you have more bliss, love, and success in your life right now? And how can you hold, like, allow yourself to feel oxytocin, dopamine, and serotonin flooding your system? So Google that, Erica. What are some natural ways to increase those hormones in your body, because your baby really really needs them to get through this time. Like, we don't need any more cortisol popping through your, pumping through your vein. Marie, how do I even start my work when it's never done anything before, i.e. no career or even jobs? How do I even start my work when I've never done anything before? So were you a stay-at-home mom, Maria? Is that what I'm getting? So stay-at-home mom, the best thing you can do is to really be simple. Why do you want to start your work? Okay. Why do you want to have a business? And then from there, once you know why, you can start working. Okay, well, how will I teach that why? How will I let other people know why I'm in business? And then from that, what is it that I actually have to give? So that book that I would suggest for that is Start with Why by Simon Sinek. So that's a great one. And then there's tons of resources. I'm getting Millionaire Mompreneur Project. That's a podcast that you can listen to. So let me, I don't like that I have to like scroll back down every time. That's annoying. Reply here. The Millionaire Mompreneur Project podcast. Um, the host is Jessie Harris Boughton. I'm gonna tag her here. Jesse's amazing. Jesse is was one of my coaches that helped me with the beginning stages of my business, really setting up that foundational structure necessary to have the passive income coming in. And her whole thing is that systems simplify processes, and processes are the pathway to power. So if that's something that sounds like it resonates with you, that you just want simple, easy processes that are tried and true methods, Jessie Harris Boughton is an amazing person to talk to about that. Little shout outs. What I'm asking, am I on the right path, in the right mind frame? Is there something that I can do to get on the right path? Okay, so this is the same question, Shavon, as what I was saying before. When you ask, am I on the right path? You immediately block yourself from the possibility of being on it already. So, what does it feel like in your body when you know that you're on the right path? That's something that you need to check in with. And what does the right path mean to you? That's why I want you to say, why do you want to become an actress? What is the story that you want to tell? How is that going to serve the planet? That's what you say you want to become and do. And then can you create a body feel that then resonates within you, that that's how you know that you're on the right path, right? I can be in the middle of like having a moment with my husband or having a moment with one of my kids that might look to someone else that I'm in lower vibration. But when I check in with my body, it's like, no, I need to have this passion. I need to show the mama bear right now. I am still in alignment because I know the body feel within me. I'm going to be teaching this a whole lot more in Global Luminary, which is a course that I'm going to be coming out with. It's launching in February. So make sure you're tuned in and stay tuned. Make sure you're following me so you get those updates. Carla, is cacao not contraindicated? If cacao's not contraindicated, Erica, drink a bunch of cacao. It's amazing. How I thought. Yeah. You got to play the thought what if game in the upward spiral, Carla. Hell yeah. I think I'm going to be doing the Naked Mirror Masterclass again at the end of this month, but I think I'm going to do What If Masterclass 2. Those ones are ones that you guys really love, and I think it's time to bring them back. You are definitely right. We sabotage our happiness thinking we don't deserve it. Yeah, that's true. Okay. Does anyone know chronic health issues? Oh, you had chronic health issues and therefore you haven't been able to work. Okay. So, clearing the chronic health issues, I cured myself of fibromyalgia, so I'm not a doctor. I have no medical basis to be telling you this. When it comes to physical, it's never physical. It's always the other bodies. So for you, Maria, I want you to start with the Accelerated Ascension Boot Camp on my website. It's on, yeah, guys. I have so much knowledge for you. I've created courses for this already for you. Um, this is where you're gonna learn how to transcend those. Accelerated Ascension Boot Camp. Um, that should work. Hold on. I might have to go to my website and actually pull it out. Oh no, I did it right. That should be right. Yeah, okay, I was right. So go on there and you can get that course. It's a 5-part video series that will explain to you why physical symptoms and chronic health issues right there are actually resulting from the mental and emotional bodies. So that is the most important thing for you to realize. Your physical body is the densest form of your light body and it still has light within it. So you really want to connect into this knowing that your physical body, any physical ailments that you have are a result of the dissonance in your mental and emotional bodies first that then just get so dense and so heavy that they then physicalize. So when you can reach into, so the way that I cured my fibromyalgia was actually first by working on my emotional issues. I started going to therapy. I started working on a lot of my traumatic childhood things. This is why I say like trauma is a real thing. It really exists when you're still in that mind frame of trauma. I know that trauma exists. It's real. I'm not telling anyone that you are not traumatized. Please, no one ever think that that's what I'm saying. I'm saying that you can transcend your trauma. You can transcend the triggers. There is a way for you to do that. And it really starts with like going into the mental layers and the emotional layers and releasing it. That was how I was able to cure my fibro, is that now none of the stories that I had identified with that caused my PTSD bother me, and because of that, fibromyalgia is physicalized PTSD. There's um yeah, that's what it is. You have so much stressors in all the other parts of your life. So I don't know what exactly your chronic health issues are, Maria, but I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt through all of the Eastern Chinese medicine teachings that I've learned that and other energy work that I've learned from all over the world, that physical issues are always caused from dis-ease in the mental and emotional bodies first. So start there. The Accelerated Ascension Bootcamp is an amazing, amazing tool that I created for anyone. And you might not have chronic health issues. Anybody else who's listening right now, you might just have ascension symptoms, right? You might just get really bad migraines right around the full moon, or you might have been feeling really, really off as the energy was coming into the solstice. If you're someone who suffers from those, please check out the Accelerated Ascension Bootcamp. I literally created it for the coming up to the Great Conjunction, and now it's still like continuing and continuing. Okay. Elise, am I replying to something? Allie? Allie, I only see your one question, honey. Thank you for telling me that I'm stunning. I don't see any other questions. If you have a question, Allie, let me know. Keys Organic, so good. I love the cacao. It's delicious. Delicious. Okay, my ex-husband was abusive and a drug addict. Hasn't been in the kid's life for 3 years. He texts and says he's changed. My oldest 3 doesn't want anything to do with him. They ask that I don't let the younger 2 see or talk to him. He's working on a truck job. Says he's not the same person. I don't want to have a relationship with him, but I'm not vindictive. Don't want to hurt anyone, even him and the kids, of course. I'm terrified to let him into their lives again. I don't know what to do, and I am the one with the power in the situation. I'm terrified I will make the wrong decision. So when you're terrified that you will make the wrong decision, you really want to be able to have this sense. So right now it sounds like you're not in a place to make a decision. And that's okay. So you need to be able to stand in your power enough to say, I am not telling you that you can never see your children again. I'm just saying that as of right now, it's not something that, I'm willing to do. Or however you need to phrase that until you've gotten strong within your own self. What is the implication? This is where you can start 2-pen channeling. Carla knows it. Everyone who's followed me for a while knows it. You take 2 pens and you have 1 pen color that's you. And you're saying, this is all of the stuff that my current ego is dealing with, and I don't really know how to deal with it. What do I do about my situation with my ex-husband? What do I do about this, right? How do I know that I'm on the right path? Then you switch your pen color and you've assigned this pen color to something else, your higher self, your dragon guides, God, whoever. Doesn't matter. It could be your great grandmother if you really loved her and you really trust her advice. Whomever it is that you are deciding is answering you in this question, and you're connecting to them. So you say a little prayer. I'm connecting to my highest self, the one who knows all of the right choices that I need to make, and I'm ready to have a conversation with her. And you pull out the first colored pen. Hello, higher self. I really need your help today. I don't know what to do. What is the right decision? And then you switch pen colors and you just start writing, automatically writing out the answers and reading it. Now, this is where you have to trust. Trust the answer because you've set the intention that you're connecting to the higher self through a tried and true method. I have had dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens and hundreds at this point of clients use this method. I have people in my inbox telling me how this method has changed their life. I learned it from my good friend Krista Vikowski. It's fucking amazing. I was able to create over like all of the abundance in my life last year when I had my first $25,000 a month was because of 2-pen channeling. So I believe in it. That's where, when it comes to something that personal and that close to your heart, there's also still some wounding going on between you and the ex. The fact that you don't believe that he's changed, I would ask about that. So do some digging and know that you can hold, right? This is a point where you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, and know when to run. So can you hold it? Can you just hold the icky, sticky, this is sitting in the goo, right? You're sitting in the goo, you're transforming, you're I don't know, I'm not sure which way to go. So it's okay to just be. Just be in that stickiness and be held in the sensation of not knowing, so that when you do know, it's such a different sensation that you're like, oh yeah, I absolutely know. I didn't know, and that's what that felt like. So this must be knowing. Okay. I can attest to the beauty of not suffering from ascension symptoms after the dragon invocation. Haven't had them since. Yes, dragon invocations are coming back. They're coming back. So many things are coming back. I had a really intense last quarter with Scorpio season and a lot of shit coming up that had me ready for now. I'm here. I'm ready. But yes, bespoke dragon vocations are coming back. If you're interested in knowing what those are, send me a DM. I don't have a link for them, but they are life changing to say the least, and they will absolutely be able to shift you from wherever you are right now into this really solid state of knowing that you are connected into the divine will. Carla, I love you. You're amazing. Yes. Dragon invocations are a thing. Come back. They're bespoke. They're made just for you. You have a card reading. I do a 3-card pull or maybe a little more with this Dragon Oracle deck that I have. We create a bespoke channeling for you. Um, and and we have a nice, amazing conversation where the dragons are guiding us and we're able to really walk you through. And then you get some homework at the end. You have pre-session survey, post-session survey, so you can really see your change. But they're amazing things that I offer and haven't been talking about a lot, but they are definitely something that if you're interested in, if you're like getting this ear ringing right now, like yeah, I definitely want to know what that is. Shoot me a DM and we'll discuss it more. Yeah, absolutely, Shavon. No problem. Okay, so a quick wrap up. Dragons are you. You are dragon. Christ as you. The aspect of the creator manifests in form, creating your own unique frequency through the choices that you make. Now, are you conscious of your choices or are you unconscious of your choices? As soon as you become conscious of your choices, you can then start leaning into consciously knowing that you are in alignment with your highest self and with your highest purpose, even when it looks like shit is breaking around you, right? You know this because when you come into the still softness, still silent moment of your heart, you have this feeling, this warm, ooey gooey, like warm chocolate is what it feels like to me, but it can feel like something else. Um, my business partner, his is like more zinging, is how he describes it, like electrical zinging. And just sitting in that, can you be in the eye of the hurricane, knowing that in the eye of the hurricane there's silence, right? There's stillness, there's a yellow sky, there's just this moment of bliss. Can you really be in that while the chaos of the hurricane is going all around you? This is what we need more dragons. Why we need more luminaries, right? Just being in your presence, just being in the grocery store, right? Just walking around, knowing that you're triggering the fuck out of everyone because you're not wearing your, is okay because you are impenetrable. You're unstoppable. Like nothing can harm you. You can't die. You're gonna be here for as long as you want. There's nothing can harm you. No one and nothing has power over you. There are no victims. I'm always making a choice. My choices are always in alignment with divine will. I'm on the accelerated ascension path to be a leader and living legend of New Earth. They will know my name. Not that there will be statues erected in my honor or anything like that, but you can bet your ass that every person on this planet will know the name Caryn Terrace by the time I ascend out of my human form. Not because I need it, but because that's the trajectory I'm on. The same way that so many people know Joan of Arc, or so many people know who Jesus is, or so many people know even Mary Magdalene. Her name's been coming up a whole lot more. A lot more people are connecting to that sex magic of Isis and the alchemy of Horus. Can you step up in that way and really be the global luminary that you were born to be the dragon, to be the great I am, to be the word, to be in full self mastery, to be an energetic Olympian? I know who you are as a god. I know what you are as God manifest in form, creating your own song, and I know how you serve by being in the frequency of freedom in every moment of your life. You just have to remember it. Is your youngest daughter? Yeah, all children are. Shave on every single child. They're all starseed children. They're all crystalline children. A lot of them are experiencing situations right now where they are kind of confused why the planet vibration isn't where it was supposed to be or where they agreed for it to be when they came into this planet, just because of so many times that we've had the ability to actually make more of a critical mass shift, that instead the old ways have finagled and have won, so to speak. So if you have children, like dragons are a really good place to play with kids. There's like How to Tame Your Dragon. There's on Netflix. There's all sorts of the Dragon Prince. There's dragon rescue riders. My kids all have dragons. They ride their dragon to dreamland. They have adventures with their dragons. Really playing with the dragon energy with your children will start really helping them have something that they at least at least if you know your kid's imaginary friend is a dragon, it's really like a dragon spirit guide, right? Someone who's a being that's there to support them. Any of their imaginary friends really are. Not turning off their imagination. So, what are the things now that you are coming into your psychic gifts, now that you're stepping into your super conscious resources, are your biggest limiting beliefs? So, one of them is going to be that, if you can't see it, that it's not real. Stop making things up. It's just your imagination. So, catch yourself when you're saying those sorts of things to your kids because you don't want to be programming them that way. You really want to be super conscious parents, right? We're moving on past consciousness, guys. I'm not here to teach you how to be conscious. If you don't know how to be conscious, there are literally a million other coaches on the planet that will teach you how to do it. Carla, she's amazing at shadow work. I'm here to work with those of you who are wondering what the fuck you do after shadow work. What do you do now that you know that you are God manifest in form, and how can you serve the planet in the biggest way? How can you show the fuck up and be the living legend and stand fully in your vibration, knowing that you are going to get torn through the mud in the press? You are going to probably have death threats thrown against you. Your life could technically end based on the way that you're moving forward as a leader, right? Martin Luther King Jr., John F. Kennedy, and still be okay with it because you know you have past lives, you know that you're an infinite being, all of this, okay? It's time to show up, it's time to step up, it's time to stop playing small and be a big ass motherfucking dragon, a genius giant with unlimited resources in both the physical and metaphysical realms, ready to sing your song at the top of your lungs and just keep singing until the whole planet is singing with you, because that's New Earth. It's already here. I live on in New Earth. We're on the same planet. I'm in New Earth. Where are you? We're on the same planet. I'm living heaven on Earth. Are you still in hell? And if you're ready to cross that bridge, I've left you guys so many resources in this. Freedom Frequency Shift, get it. Like, get it. It's amazing. I have it on sale for $222 right now, down from $777. Like, freaking awesome. Accelerated Ascension Boot Camp is only $44. It's also maybe it's even 22 right now. I don't remember. We literally marked everything down on the website because of everything that happened after the Great Conjunction. I said, fuck it. I don't need money. I need the knowledge to be out there for the people to get. So go on my website, check it out, see all the offerings we have. If you're interested in bespoke one-on-one mentoring, maybe you're an individual, maybe you want to know more about the power couple thing, maybe you want me to come into your company, make sure you send me a DM. I have spaces open right now for bespoke mentoring. So let's do this thing. I love you all. What a fun hour and a half on a Sunday morning. I'm going to go out, walk the dogs. I love you. I'm going to be on lives more often. You're going to see a lot of stuff coming out from this page. Make sure you like, share it to your friends. See you later.